was an incredible day. It was one that I think a lot of players, staff and members will remember for a very long time. I think, like guys have said in the past, it's probably at the wrong end of the table that I would like, but nevertheless, those exciting days are the ones that you want to play in and ones that you get up in the morning for in the winter and remember to have more of.
It was almost like the game before, different circumstances, of course, one for the title, one for staying up, but it did show the guts and determination within the group.
It did. I think it's probably quite a good message that we can put into next year, really, is that, if we set ourselves clear goals of winning games, it's remarkable what you can do. It's remarkable what the body can achieve as well. I think we saw with Liam Norwell and Liam Norwell on that last day to bowl the best part of 36, 37 overs out of the 45 between them. It just shows what you can do if you want to run through a brick wall, and they certainly did that.
When did you really believe? I know that you're a very optimistic guy. You always back your team. You always back yourself. What point during that final innings do you think we're actually going to do this?
I think when you start to really believe is when we probably got Vince out. That 40 for 4 was a sticky little period for them. The way he batted in the first innings was high class. Probably shows what a very, very good player he is. So to get him out very nice and early, while Liam Norwell still relatively fresh, was when you start to believe, and I think that's probably when the lads and the crowd started to believe as well. Yes, they had a couple of partnerships in between there, Brown and Gubbins, and the Gubbins and Fuller one almost took it away from us, but we just tended to strike at just the right opportunities. So yeah, the Vince one was a big one, and then obviously the Gubbins one at the end was huge.
Does it mean more as well with the prior results? Somerset at home, Gloucester away. It was in our hands. Disappointingly, we didn't get the win that we wanted. Therefore, we're on the back foot. So to put in a performance like that must have been pretty incredible.
Yeah. Look, I think we probably know that we messed up those last 3 games. In reality, we knew we needed to win one and get a good draw to stay up. We didn't realise how close it would be or how tight it would be. But realistically, the Gloucester game, we probably got ourselves into position to win that game, and we'll look back and reflect on how we can win those games in the future. The Somerset game, exactly the same after blowing them away on day one. So they're 2 games that we'll definitely look back and think how can we improve on those next year. But obviously the Hampshire game, they're an outstanding team, one of the best teams in the country, and they come and play to win every game, and to turn them over in a high importance game was really, really pleasing.
When do you now, over the next few weeks, start to reflect on the season and start to look at bits and pieces you want to change for next year?
Probably when we come back into train, really. I'm sure me and Rob will be in conversation over the next month. He'll say he'll give me 3-4 weeks off, but I'm sure I'll get a phone call next week. But that's the beauty of it. It means that you're hungry for more. I think after this year and how we finished and where we finished, we're probably quite hungry as a unit to almost get back out there. Yes, we want a little bit of time off, but there's nothing better than playing cricket at Edgbaston. So we'll probably have 5 or 6 weeks off. We'll come together probably as senior players when we come back in, and then obviously we'll get the full squad involved to get their views and opinions and try and come up with a plan for next year.
It's going to be a slightly strange winter because a lot of the younger lads are going off to fly around the world. They're going to go and play in different conditions, improve their game. So there's going to be a smaller group, isn't there, this side of Christmas and just after. How interesting is that going to be? It's
going to be good. We haven't had it for a few years, really. Not in my time at Warwickshire. I think, my first couple of years at Warwickshire, I was lucky enough to go to Perth, where Robbie Yates is going. And then obviously we've had the 2 years of COVID. So I've never really had it at Warwickshire where I've had a winter where there's not been many people around. So I'm quite interested to see how it works. But the guys who we've got staying, a lot of the senior guys, it seems to be guys of a certain age who are going away. But like I think everyone said in the dressing room before, that opportunity is always something that you relish. I really enjoyed my years going away. I'm sure everyone else did as well if they were lucky enough to do it. So, fair play to them for going away. Hopefully they come back in fabulous form and, a very hard selection for that first game of next year.
We've got to say goodbye to some players last few days. Very hard. They're very good teammates. You're obviously going to wish them well, but they will be a big loss, won't they, next year?
They will. I think it's not just what they produce on the field; it's what they produce, in the dressing rooms as well. It's a lot of things that people don't see. We've got some huge characters leaving the dressing room. Yes, we're going to miss the runs, wickets, and catches, but it's what we'll miss in the dressing room. And for five senior guys to be leaving is obviously disappointing in the way that your friendships grow and stuff like that. So. We wish them all well. It was quite emotional on the last day when Siddy and Lammy said their sort of goodbye speeches. We've heard it from the other 3, but when those 2 got up and spoke, it was quite emotional and there's a few tears in the eye. and that's how much it means. It means a lot when you become friends with these people. It's not just more than it's not just a cricketing environment. It's actually a friendship that you're losing, or not losing, but they're moving on to hopefully bigger things for them. And obviously we'll keep an eye on them and hopefully have some good battles with them in the future.
But incomings as well. Give me a word on. We know what Mo's going to be able to do. We know what a talent he is. He's obviously with England at the minute, doing great things. But give us a word on Ed Barnard, because he's had a terrific year for Worcester. He's in a lot of team of the years over both leagues in the county championship. He's going to be a valuable asset.
He is. He's a very, very good signing in my opinion. You know, he offers that sort of stability that we lost when we probably lost with Tim Bresnan. That sort of ability to give you so many more options with, you know, your team selection. So he's going to be really excited to come. We've already been speaking about Division 1. He's already sent me a text about how good Liam Norwell is, so I think he's excited to face him in the nets. But yeah, it's obviously two guys coming up the road. Obviously Mo coming home. Everyone knows how good he is, you know, what he's done for the Phoenix and what he's done for Worcester and England in the last few years. So we're all very excited for those two to come.
Summers are incredibly long. You play a lot of cricket, but at what point are you really excited for next year?
Probably when I do my first running session around the ground. You just want to get back out there. Like I said before, you know, you really relish these 4 or 5 weeks off. As a cricketer and as a sportsman, you don't get much time off, so these 3 or 4 weeks will be great. But then you just want to get back out there. As soon as you've probably had 4 or 5 hits in the nets and then a few run throughs with the ball, you really want to get back out there. And there'll probably be a bit of jealousy when you see the guys who are in Australia and South Africa and they're playing cricket already, and you just want to get out there. So hopefully it won't take too long and the winter will pass us by very quickly and we can get out on pre-season tour and into next year.